the good of the school. Steve.
Hey, Veterans Day. No kidding. The high school, middle school, and then the elementary. That was just kind of. And I'm speaking as a community member and a veteran. You really went to both of those with the impression that even the kids understood the whole veteran thing and wanted to be appreciative of that. So honestly, I think Riverside this year really did a nice job. Very nice job in the community.
One of the most meaningful things we do in the community. It really is.
They even talk about it on the radio.
Yeah.
Why am I mentioning this? Anyway, he used to be on the radio on Fridays.
Warren Strong?
Yes, and they talked about Warren on the radio and how the Riverside is on our Facebook page. I saw the picture. Pretty cool. Like, oh, Riverside.
Well, and Steve, I know he wouldn't mention himself, so I'd like to mention him because he spoke at RES. What was remarkable about that, Steve, is you were able to speak and they're more age appropriate to them. And I know that takes skill, because you do a lot of work at the middle school and high school, but you did a great job. I was like, man, he could easily be an elementary teacher.
That's
Because
we try to give him a son.
there's a lot of
He says no every time.
he knew he could read the audience when they were starting to get a little bit antsy, and he would bring them back, and a lot of it was through encouragement. Hey, you're doing great. Thank you for your attention, and using language that probably is a little different than you would say at a high school, and then the storytelling of just with the suspense and the build up that you need with elementary, because they're on the edge of their seat, and it was really well done, because there's the content of it, but then there's how you speak. And most people are like, elementary, that's even scarier than high school. So well done on that.
What branch were you? Other remarks?
Reminder that we have our Notice to the Santa coming up December 3rd, in the morning at the Saturday. So, love to have the board members there at RES, the community. Also, that second week of December, the 12th through the 16th, the Spirit Week, I think both at Chenery and Riverside Elementary, and those are always fun days to just pop in and see all the kids dressed up in special gear every day. Something to go on.
What were those dates?
December 12th through the 16th for the Spirit Week, and then December 3rd is.
Other thoughts? Yeah.
Just one quick one. On Monday, this coming Monday, we have an employment skills night here at this high school being thrown by our FFA students. Done a great job of reaching out to community members and friends, family, contacts to get I think we're approaching 40 different occupations that will be here to be interviewed and ask questions about what it's like to do that. They really did a good job. They polled the class to see what jobs and occupations they might be interested in, and then work backwards to find people that might fit that, working with a group that's helping us with our college and career readiness. So really good opportunity. They're going to be talking resumes, interviews, and just kind of what it takes to get to some of these different jobs. So that'll be this Monday at 6 in the NPR, yeah.
Glenn, I'd like to just thank you for efficiently leading us through that tour. It was good. Good.
I knew we had time.
That's right. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we told him about Travis last meeting.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Well, we don't need a lunch break in between your first and second part of your talk. Any other remarks? I'd just like to say that I spent some time with Roxanne and her group at the Early Learning Center. If you ever want to be happy for the day, just go down and do that. Those kids, I mean, it is so fun, and one of the byproducts of going down and visiting is that the kids on their own decide to draw pictures of you, so you get to know how you really look for them. Anyway, great time. We had lunch. I went down to Domini's and got sandwiches, and Roxanne and I and the staff sat and ate and talked it over. It was good. Presentations, professional learning, community process, Riverside High School.
All right, I am gonna do my job, which is turn on the projector and hand it over to you. So,
All the hard work for me.
I didn't even bring the
Well,
clippers
thank
on
you.
it, so.
Yeah, that was helpful. Hi, everyone, I'm Sheila Messick, I'm next year ready. So when Clint was talking about speaking to you about the professional learning communities, I was thinking about, what has it done for our school? And I was thinking about how the morale of our school, a huge factor in having high morale is the relationship between the teachers, the relationship between the teachers and admin. And I feel like it's so high right now, largely because we're working in teams. The teachers, we have meaningful work that we believe in, and we've been so closely and systematically working together the last few years that it's been working. And so professional learning communities, let's look at the evolution quickly. We started really implementing this in 2019, 2020, because before then, and this is my perspective, I've been here 17 years. Before then, it was really meetings, it was a lot of housekeeping. We didn't have this systematic approach to really improve the student learning. We did talk, of course, about how we can better our craft, but it wasn't as intentional as it is now. So 2020, okay, 2022, that was kind of the COVID fog, so much had to just be on pause, of course. But when we got back into it, we really started developing. We had so much outside help from ESP, help us learn how can we build these communities and what are we doing, what are some solid steps. And then this summer, we had our PLC Institute by Solution Tree, and that was amazing. We had so many district members. How many was it?
25, I think.
25 of us all going over the summer together, and what a great workshop it was. I still have the brochure from it. So we went to these different sessions, whether it was about data discussion, improving learning through focused intervention, just all different topics, and we all went to these different sessions and we talked about them, and just had so much time to really be together. And not just learn content and learn ideas, but as a staff, we even bond together and then feel that, okay, we're all here, we want to improve student learning. And we had so many solid ideas, collaborating with our colleagues there that we could then bring back to our department. And then we're continuing that now with our Guiding Coalition workshop. So we're really making this a habit. We've been meeting, I'm sure you've heard about that, is it once a month that we meet? Yeah, about once a month. And so that's been helpful. And I'm going to tell you later of something that came out of that Guiding Coalition meeting that I think is really neat for the high school year. Here's an example of kind of what we do at a professional learning community meetings on a Wednesday. We're developing a problem of practice, so we're really focusing in on what's something that we want to change, something that we want to improve for our department. And there's these 4 critical steps that we're always working through, and right now we're on these 2. What do we expect students to learn? Do we agree on what's really vital, what needs to be in our curriculum? And then how do we know they're learning? We have proof. We have evidence that we can collect data and say, yes, this worked. Our new plan, our new methods did really improve learning. Our problem of practice in the English department this year is we believe students need to learn how to evaluate sources. Last year, just to give you some context, it was students need to learn how to make claims, defensible claims. So we all work together. That's something across all of our English classes, whether we're teaching freshman on English or epic fantasy or Lit and War, whatever course, even though the content is very different, the argument skills are really the same. So we found something that And now it's, okay, what's the next step? Well, they make their argument, you have to support it with evidence, credible evidence. Well, how do they collect evidence? How do they know if this is a good source? This is what we want to make sure we're on the same page, that we're teaching them with the best place method. So we found a rubric, a well-established rubric, and we made it our own. We tweaked it a little bit, wording that we maybe didn't like, and now we're at the part where we're creating lessons. We're looking at 9th and 10th grade, and we're thinking, okay, what lessons have we already done? How can we make them better? Can we use some of the same lessons, really refine them, and then can we create a common assessment so that we can collect data to prove, yeah, we put our heads together, it worked. Now, the Super PLC. Okay, this is so exciting because we did not expect this. The English department, we were doing our thing, and at the Guiding Coalition meeting, the first one that we had, I was talking to Allie Usher. You met her today from the science department, and I guess social studies must have heard, they were part of this group too. They heard what we were doing with evaluating evidence. So we'd go around and share, each department would share what's their goal, what's their problem of practice. And a couple weeks ago, the social studies department contacted us and was like, oh, we really like your goal. We want to work on something similar. Could we join you at one of your meetings? And we're like, yes, of course. We were so excited that they wanted to work with us. And then a day later, Allie from the science department emailed us and same thing. Science is doing something really similar with evidence. We're kind of interested. Maybe we could work together. So, yeah, so it's been really nice. So the social studies department came to our last PLC, and they sat with us, and we talked about where could there be some alignment. They looked at our rubric, and we talked about how we use it in English, how do we evaluate sources. We found like areas where there's some commonality, and we realized that if we can be speaking the same language with our students, and they go to period 2, and they have Mr. Viljohn for U.S. history, and then they go to English class, and they're hearing sort of the same skill sets, they're hearing the same language. That's going to be really powerful. That's going to impact them. Of course, that repetition is going to help them get it. And we're still working with science to see where there's some overlap and where we can work together. But, it's really neat that this didn't just come from like top down. It wasn't something like this was, we have to work together. This is showing that the staff in our school trust each other enough, that we feel comfortable enough to want to share and work together. And I think it speaks volumes. In the 17 years I've been here, I have never seen such a strong staff that really wants to work together, that wants to improve student learning. It really is not about like, I know it all, no matter how much experience we have, no matter how many years we've been teaching, there's this attitude that we can still make it better, we can improve, we can come together. So that's what makes me really excited, and why I love being here. It's working. And then the one other thing I wanted to share, I think that's my last one here, is just when we were at the Summer Institute, they gave us these nice little journals. In one of the sessions, they asked us to write a journal entry. So I'm just going to read to you what I wrote, how I was feeling on the second day. It was August 12th, 2022, and I said, this is exciting. So many teachers and admin from Riverside here together at the Summer Institute to improve student outcomes through PLC. I am eager to learn more with my, what did I write there? My dear colleagues, I think, I don't know, about how we can put our heads together and find better ways to ensure that all students are learning what we find most important for the times we're living in. Teaching is always evolving because the factors in the equation keep changing. New students, new world calls for continually reevaluating our content and our methods. Makes sense that working as a team will be more effective than working in isolation. Go team Riverside. That's it. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
The secret to success is relationships. And it's amazing how few organizations or people in general commit to do that. Because it's so basic to human growth. And so that's what I'm hearing is that there's a commitment to the development of those relationships, which builds trust and all kinds of advancement that takes place when you have more than one mind coming up with the answers. It's really, it's a commitment that's rare. I applaud what you're doing.
Yeah, we have, some great teachers here. Our social studies department, they're so eager to work together, work with us, that's the team, and yeah, just all around.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sheila.
Need a motion to adopt the agenda.
With that executive session.
Right, without the executive session, we're gonna skip that because it's too hot in here.
So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Need a motion. So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Superintendent report.
Okay, thank you, everybody. I wanted to share with you the board meeting calendar as just an introduction, no action item today, so it's in your packet. If you could take a look at it and be ready to discuss it at the next board meeting. But basically, wanted to get a take on, does the current system work for you all? Where we have basically our regular board meetings the fourth Thursday of every month, going into the 23 calendar year, and Mondays are typically the work session, which is more roundtable. Also, does 4:30 dinners work for you still? 5:30 start time. Some boards meet in the day, totally allowable. But I know that Jocelyn, you work full time. Scott, you're working full time. For those of you who are retired, you have a little bit more flexibility in your schedule. But so yeah, just kind of want to get a sense. Caitlin and I to work together on bringing something to you that is actually going to work. 2 meetings a month. I mean, I remember when I first got here, we only had 1 meeting a month. So I didn't mean to make your life more,
Oh, I like the 2 meetings.
ragged,
Thursdays are
but
hard for me.
increases communication. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'll be here.
So thoughts on that? Any
Scott?
insight?
No, I'm perfectly good now.
With
My new job, I've been very flexible. So.
Okay. That work okay?
I'm happy when it's something in the evening before the meeting, that gives the community more of an opportunity to participate.
Yeah.
I've always not liked 2 o'clock
Right.
meetings for organization.
And then I did share with you the community engagement plan from Megan Garrett, who's from Brand Venture Consulting. I hope you had a chance to look at that. The Utilities Advisory Committee is looking at that right now. That's something that we can continue to talk about as we move forward with that team and getting recommendations from them. But making sure you're just up to date on the most recent plan. So we don't need to talk about it tonight, but just please read that over and call if you have any questions. And then I wanted to highlight a positive and then maybe one challenge. I'll start with a challenge. So I just came from the bid process for the middle school construction project, trying to have a positive attitude. But we had 4 bids from 4 companies. They were all over budget. So they were all almost $1 million over. And that was after our design team had worked our tails off on bringing the cost down, which we were already $1 million over based on our initial drawings. Bringing it over so that NAC Architects cost estimator estimated about $3 million for the project, and the lowest bid that we got tonight was $3.8 million. $3.85 million. The next bid we got was $3.95 million. The other one was $3.96 million, and then the fourth one was $4.3 million. So basically, I think we decided we wanted to sleep on it tonight just because it was such a bummer of an experience, you know, because I opened up the bid documents, you have to follow state bid laws, Ron was there, read the numbers out loud, it's all public documentation, and when it was all $1 million over, it was just devastating. So, trying to stay positive, and again, just getting back to the drawing board. Not excited to go talk to the middle school team tomorrow at all about it, but I don't know what else we can do. And so we just, you know, we don't toss our bats and go home. We just get back on the horse and work on it and see how we can, we're gonna have to rebid them. I mean, because in our state laws around bids, you can't even legally negotiate them down $1 million. You can only negotiate down 10%. And so, not trying to be a negative at all today, but want to be real with you that that's kind of where we're at. And so, still trying to figure out the root causes of it. I mean, obviously, part of it is the market. Part of it is the scale of the project. The idea that a smaller project might end up costing versus a bigger project. There's an economy of scale there. But, you know, we can blame the architect, we can blame whoever. I don't know what to tell you other than that's the facts of the matter, and so we're gonna have to regroup and let you know and have your voice in the process and try to figure out how to move forward. And still fall within our timeline of August of next year as a goal. So, start.
I think that the moment really presents the board and the superintendent with a reality check on asking for enough money. I think that we really undershoot what we need to ask for on these projects, especially when we're looking at the bond coming up. I don't think that when you're a year out from the actual bid, that you can know what it is that is going to be in the ballpark. I think that we need to be a whole lot more realistic. I think that's the reality check for the board and for you this time around. I think we've been very modest in our request with big dreams, but we need to be expanded when we actually ask for. Other comments?
Ken, before we move on, we missed the motion for the consent agenda adoption.
Yeah, we did that. Consent agenda motion. Apparently we missed that.
Motion. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ron. Okay, Ken, other thing.
That's it.
Now, we need to get through the business section here. Critical data solutions is A. Need a motion to approve. So moved. Discussion?
Any questions on that? Community engagement data for the potential recommendation from the facilities advisory.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Master service agreement. Rita Advisors. Need a motion? So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. Mullen Coughlin agreement. Need a motion? Motion. Discussion?
I did want to quickly highlight, should have highlighted this in my superintendent report, but really wanted to thank Melissa and her team in the IT department. So as you know, we had a major threat of our network, and because of our great team and getting on it right away, shutting down the network, just prevented what could have been a tough situation for our district around cybersecurity. And so learned a lot about it, but if we didn't have someone as experienced as Melissa, who knows her stuff and knows how to communicate well, it just really turned out remarkably well considering what it could have been. And so the reason I bring that up is that agreement, we were required to bring in some legal legal expertise around cybersecurity. And in our insurance policy, we actually have a clause that addresses cybersecurity. So the insurance, other than a deductible, $10,000 deductible, the insurance pays for those fees in addition to the hours of the ESD people who came and worked on it, as well as the Arete advisors who were basically the forensics experts around cybersecurity. But just a really great job, Melissa, and thank you for your competence and your composure and your communication skills, because those are, I've learned more than ever, those are not, that's real in our world and can happen in any organization, so thank you. Appreciate it. That's what that contract is. Thank you.
D, resolution to amend 403B retirement plan, Omni and TSACG compliance services. Need a motion? So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Ken, you have anything to say about that?
No, Ron, anything to add on that? Pretty self.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. E, first reading, 5404, family, medical, and maternity leave. Need a motion? So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. F, second reading, 2402, English Language Arts Mastery Based Credit. Need a motion?
One quick thing on the motion, just because, especially a reminder to go back to the original meeting we presented these. They, even though there's a long list there, they're all exactly the same policy. The only difference is English language arts, social studies, science, health and physical education. So one option would be, because they really are the same thing, is you could ask for a motion to approve all of those second readings. That's going to happen the first meeting. Read through every single policy.
You're saying through P?
The F through P, F through,
N.
M. F through M.
Yeah. I
So
read it,
just the thought.
and we did one motion and one thing. Do the same thing, that's not entirely working.
Say M or N?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a motion to approve all of those. So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Well, that's short for the list. Thanks, Ken. Okay, second reading, 2413, equivalency credit opportunity. Need a motion? So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Oh, second reading, 5001, hiring of retired school employees. Need a motion? So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? D, second reading, 4218, language access plan. Need a motion? So moved. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are not doing executive session tonight, so we need a motion to adjourn. So moved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned.
Just some signatures.
Yep, we got signatures.